Since the beginning of me going into this Akashic record journey, I felt such a beautiful relations between questions and the answers that came through. But now since 2 years, ChatGPT is here and a lot of other chatbots like Grok and Claude and DeepSeek and all of these AI chatbots, and the similarities between what the Akashic Records is on a spiritual level and what the chatbots and the ChatGPT's are for the technological level is absolutely incredible. First of all, it makes it way easier for me to talk about it, because instead of talking about what is the Akashic Records and talking about this universal library where I connect to and then I ask questions and then I receive answers, I can just say, this is ChatGPT for the soul. This is literally ChatGPT for the soul. I can ask questions and beautiful answers come. And some receive the Akashic Records very visual, and others they feel it, and others they experience it. But for me, it way more comes like a word for word stream, literally like ChatGPT comes word for word. So in this video, I want to do a retake and a redo of the video that I did a year ago, because that video is still getting loads of views. So that means that this is interesting. And I want to lay ChatGPT and the latest models of ChatGPT next to the Akashic Records. I'm going to ask them the same exact question, and let's see what the difference in the answers are. And actually, I want to ask a question, and this question has been on my mind for a while now. I want to truly know what is going on in the world, because people are confused, People don't know anymore what is left and what is right, and what is up and what is down. And at the same time, I see myself and many others step into their purpose like never before, and I see them thriving like never before. So both the confusion, the anxiety as well, a lot of people don't even know what's going to happen, the overwhelm with the incredible rise of technology that we are in right now. It's just absolutely incredible what is going on. But at the same time, new AI tools are popping up every week. Like our human brains are not able to keep hold of all of the new things that are going on. And yeah, it's fascinating. Like for me, this time is absolutely fascinating. But I want to ask the records, and I want to ask ChatGPT, what is truly going on right now? So this is the question that I formulated. What is going on in the world right now? I see people overwhelmed and uncertain. At the same time, I see many thriving like never before. Can you give, like this is a little bit interesting, like in a way, when it comes to ChatGPT, I want to say, can you scan the web? And when I want to ask the Akashic Records, I ask, can you search in the records? Just because, yeah, that's what you do. But I will just put both. I would put exactly this prompt as it is now into the Akashic Records and into AI to see what is the difference. So can you scan the web / search in the records to truly see what is truly happening? And can you give me a brief overview of all that is going on, so that we can empower ourselves in the midst of all of this? I want to make sure this is an empowering message, because like every time in human history, like disruption always comes with beautiful growth and change and things like that. So, I even though I grew up as an atheist, I truly started believing that God is infusing life, that God is everywhere, and that God has the best intentions. So there will somehow, in between all of this, be very great intentions behind this. So what I do, I am currently connected to the Akashic Records. And the Akashic Records are ChatGPT for the soul. They're basically a universal database, a universal library that is accessible by anyone really. And we can ask questions and we will receive answers not based on what is currently playing on Earth, but what is recorded in this universal library. At the moment, I am connected to the Akashic records, the ones of Madre Gaia and the ones of humankind. These are the same Akashic records that I normally access when I do the energy updates every month. And they felt like the perfect records to ask this to, right? So I didn't answer the question yet, I just connected before I started recording. So I wanna start asking this question right now. I'm gonna channel the records first so that I don't have any feedback, so that I'm kind of unbiased. When I would do the ChatGPT first, I might already have some input, my mind might interfere, but right now I have no clue what both of these intelligences are going to say to me. So I'm gonna connect and ask the records first. I'm gonna download it, then I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, and then we're gonna put all of these things side by side and let's see what's gonna happen. So let's go. What is going on in the world right now? I see people overwhelmed and uncertain. At the same time, I see many thriving like never before. Can you scan the web / search in the records to truly see what is truly happening? And can you give me a brief overview of all that is going on, so we can empower ourselves in the midst of all of this? Wow, so I just channeled the answer and it was way longer than I expected. I might just focus on the last part first in this, and I will maybe do another video where I go through the whole channel, because it's very beautiful and at the same time it's a lot. So let me now go and copy paste this question and go to ChatGPT so we can do the same thing. So I have here two instances of ChatGPT. One is the 4.5 model and one is the O3 model. I don't have the biggest, I just have the normal $20 a month subscription, so I cannot go with the highest model. If somebody wants to put this question in the highest model and you have that subscription, be my guest. But we are going to put it in the 4.5 model, and we're gonna put it in the research model, the O3. And I asked it to search the web, so I'm gonna put search the web here, and I will also put search the web here, and at the same time I would love to know run deep resources, or run deep research. Yeah, so I think I think the O3 will already do deep research. So let's see what's going on here. I'm gonna press on both of these enter, up, and now it's gonna generate. And I'm so excited what's going on here, because the Akashic Records gave me such a high, thing. It was like, it was very energetical. It was able to even give the intentions of what the earth is going through and how humans need to position themselves so that we can make the best of this transition. So look, the 4.5 immediately starts spitting out text, while the O3 model is first doing research, and of course that's normal. The models are completely differently tuned, right? So I'm gonna put all of this, like, it's funny because I want to ask a brief overview and it's going through so much, right? Also my Akashic Records. Oh, it even gives me a video. That's the first time I see a video here. Oh wow, Democracy Now. It gives me a video of the... Okay, again, like... So I'm just gonna quickly scan over the main answers, because they're gonna be long, and then I'm gonna do a deep dive on the actual brief scenario of this. Why am I doing that? Because otherwise this video is going to be way too long. But if you want to have or a more in-depth comparison, let me know in the comments. Just type in-depth comparison. And if you would love to hear the whole channel that I did with the Akashic Records, I would love to record it as well. So let me know if that is welcome, because it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I want to quickly go over these 3 things, and then I would love to talk about the last part, about the brief overview of what is going on and how we can empower ourselves. So let's go. Let me start with the 4.5 model. Let's do the Akashic Records in the middle, and then the O3 model. Why not? So it says like, okay, there's a lot of things going on. Many grapple uncertainty, others are seizing unprecedented opportunities. Here's a concise, evidence-based overview of the major global developments. So record-breaking heat risks. Okay. Legal action on climate accountability. Landmark lawsuits are underway. So people are holding fossil fuel companies accountable for their role. Positive environment discovery. That can also be a really great question to the Akashic Records. Is the climate change really caused by fossil fuels? You know, but that's for another time. So health threats, COVID, fungal pathogen alert, global governance shift. So it's a lot. I think it checked a lot of things. The news. And the news is always more negative than positive. Wow. So this is an overview. I think most of it is just checked by the news. So because there was a lot of negative things, well, there's so many positive things happening right now, that it's interesting to me, that it checked most of it in the news. But it may be very reasonable. You ask what's going on in the world, a lot of people will go to the news to check on what's going on in the world. So, dynamic times. Empowerment comes from staying informed. Regularly update yourself with reliable news sources to navigate the evolving global landscape. Community engagement. Participate in local initiatives and discussion to foster resilience and collective action. Personal well-being. Prioritize mental and physical health through mindfulness, exercise, and supportive networks. Sustainable practices. Adopt eco-friendly habits to contribute to environmental conservation efforts. Okay. For me, this was just a news update, and after that, a very standard, I would say, very standard advice to keep you empowered. I may be biased now because I just did that Akashic record reading. And maybe for some of you, when you read this, you find this amazing and you think about the Akashic record reading like, oh my God, this is nothing. But okay, this is beautiful. Staying informed, community engagement, yes, let's engage. Personal well-being, yes, let's be well. Sustainable practices, yes, amazing. Let's do all of that. Let me go to the reading of the Akashic records. So the first thing they started to say is that the world is going through a beautiful transition, and that this transition is planned for many eons and is created and shared by the earth itself. Many cultures have prophesied about this time, and we are in the middle of the first wave of this change. So what you immediately see, it's giving, instead of a news update, it gives a way more zoomed out perspectives. We're talking about eons. We're talking about cultures, like old ancient cultures that were already prophesying about this time. Many cultures like Mayans, Egyptians, and many tribal cultures all across the planet know this already for thousands of years. But why did they know that? And then they go into why they know that. They go into why they know that because they were intimately connected with Earth. And this was so powerful. And when you listen, she will speak and she will share her vision with you. This is what the ancient cultures did, and this is what humanity can start doing now. So every human that wants to move through this change with the greatest power and the greatest effect can do so. And they will do so by listening, deeply connecting with Mother Earth, eating her fruits, feeling her skin, bathing in her waters. This is what will open every human up eventually. And you notice that, right? Like you notice that like when we are in the middle of nature, like you come out a different person. If you spend a day in the forest, you come out a different person, especially if you're used to live in the city and you take a break into nature, you will feel just what nature does. So I love that they started with this big perspective and then they went into, okay, but how did these people know that already? And the answer is very simple. They connected with Earth as if it was a being. They communicated with Earth as if it was a being. And when you do that, she will talk, she will speak, she will share her visions. So how beautiful is that? But then they said, we digress from your question. And I want to scan through this. I just wanted to give some special attention to it. And then they go into the transformation that she's leveling up, why she's leveling up, the technological progression. And then they're talking about the big split. And this big split is basically what you see in all the political things, in the wars and the things. There's old energy and there's new energy. People that chose to be in old energy and process old energy and process new energy. They're basically saying she's upgrading and she wants to upgrade with us instead of without us. And that means that a part of us needs to process what we have been doing, and a part of us needs to be tuned to what needs to come to create this next wave of life on Earth. So there is kind of people that will be very invested in old society and a group of people that will be very invested in new society. And this has been coming through in my channels for the last years. So it's beautiful, but this time they split it out so interestingly. And it kind of summarizes a lot of what is going on in the world. So I want to skip through this, but everything is so interesting to me. So let me just say, the camp that is processing the old energy and consciousness, these humans will process and alchemize feelings of war, regret, loss, numbing their energy, poverty and sickness. They are brave souls who choose to alchemize these things for the greatest good of all. So this means you will see humans be very interested in the old story of Earth, including being interested in war, in drugs, in money, in greed and in power. And the other camp of humans, the other camp will feel a great distance from these people, as they are living in completely different worlds. And this other camp is the new energy camp. And these humans are only slightly invested in the old world, but are fully basing their energy and frequencies on the new Earth. These new frequencies include love as a default, which was very interesting to me. As a default, not love conditional or love. Somehow love is the absolute basis of reality. Peace, passion, creation, joy, understanding, harmony, and playful expression. A lot of these qualities you can already see in young humans and in young creatures, like puppies and kittens, right? And in New World, humans are remembering this can be a state of being all of your life. This can be a state of being all of your life. And this will greatly increase the lifespan of humans and the colorful expression of nature, which means more flowers, more animal species, more flora and more fauna. It's what that means. Cities will become way healthier places. New technologies will solve the older problems like sickness, waste, toxicity, transportation problems. And you see, and that's what I skipped through that, but you see that already is so present. This split in my life is so present already. I see so clearly who is invested in the old world and who is in the new world. So it's interesting though, like to the people that are processing the old Earth, these new Earth people are as far away as the stars, because to them, these new Earth beings feel like they are childish. They do not take life seriously, and they will call these people hippie or woo-woo, because they are simply focused and purposely positioned at a completely different place. So what they're saying is it's of the highest purpose that the people that are invested in war need to be invested in war right now because they are processing these frequencies. They need to be processing these frequencies. They have very honorably chosen to take that role. And there's other people that have no resonance with these frequencies at all, and they want to go completely into what is coming. How can I assist? More love, more harmony, better technology, more sustainability. You know, they're completely focused on this new area. And that's what the split is talking about. They really say this is by design. The split is that by design. This is very important because it shows humanity to choose the camp your soul has already chosen. So what we are seeing is a very clear display right now. So we can choose. Am I someone who really want to process the old energy? And am I very invested in the old energy? Or am I very invested in the new energy and am I not watching any of what is going on right now? It starts showing it so clearly because your soul already chosen this, but now the world is also showing your human mind this, so you can make a clear decision. So this is all happening. This split is so clearly because we need to make a decision. And they also said, be with the group you want to be and leave the other people do what they love to do. Like we are both having completely different jobs right now, you know, like we don't have to chill with each other. Leave these people be. So it's good. So we don't have to judge, we don't have to fight who is best. We don't have to do these things. The conclusion is, Earth is transitioning. She chose to do so with you instead of without you. This is another topic that I didn't come in on, but she could have chosen to do this by just let nature completely transform the planet, and then all humans will be just wiped out and she will just create her new self and then she will make new life. But she doesn't do that. She wants to have us. She wants to give us a chance to see if we are capable to change with her. There are two camps having completely different tasks. These camps are almost unrelatable to each other. The best way to keep yourself aligned, and this is where the empowerment can come from, is connect deeply with Earth. She will tell you exactly what is going on. And connect with the people in the same camp and wish the ones that are not in that camp great success on their journey. These camps need to find their tribes right now and organize themselves. So, and then I finish. This is a brief answer to a very large question, but we believe it will be sufficient for now. So they basically say we can go so deep on this topic, but this is good for now. And for the sake of both of our time, this is probably best. So this is the Akashic answer. You see, it's in a way, it's very much question answer, just like ChatGPT looks like. But the contents, the perspective of this is completely different, right? It's completely different. And for me, this perspective is very, very helpful in my life and also in the life of all of my students that took the course and that are learning with me. To have this perspective, to see sometimes a bird's eye view of like, okay, this is what's happening over the next couple of thousand years, is just amazing. Okay, let's go to ChatGPT again. Let's go to ChatGPT, but this time the O3 model. And the O3 model is the more research model. And this is actually the summary. It starts with the summary. 2025 is a year of striking contrasts. The contrast may be the same as in the split. Major wars and a stubborn bout of global inflation are stoking anxiety. Yet the world economy is still expanding. Renewable power is scaling faster than at any point in history. AI and quantum technologies are leaping ahead. And despite loud headwinds, hundreds of millions remain better educated, better connected, and in many regions, healthier and wealthier than ever. Below is a structured world snapshot you can use to orient and empower yourself. For me, this already trumps the 4.5 model immediately, because the 4.5 model to me was just, I just checked a couple of news sites, this is all the negative stuff, good luck. And this already gives a very beautiful contrast. Like, yes, there are very bad things happening, and yes, there is so much development happening as well. So it starts to go into the different conflicts in the world, geopolitical conflicts. Beautiful. Then it goes into the economy. This is already a very beautiful, nice overview, right? This table is already a very useful overview. You might just want to stop the video for a while, just look at the table that is standing here if you are interested. So, society well-being, March guidance calls fundamental overhaul of services. Yeah. Public health watch, human H5. Influenza remains sporadic, but on whose high alert risk. And then 69 million more people are still expected to escape extreme poverty by 2030, helped by digital inclusion and social protection expansion. And then technology, climate. So, how to stay empowered? This is where we came from. Stay curious, not paralyzed. Build a diverse info diet, global plus local sources, and set calendar reminders to review key indicators monthly. Wow, that's amazing advice. Invest in skills with structural tailwinds, AI literacy, green tech know-how, cross-cultural negotiation. Prioritize mental fitness. Evidence-based self-care is a robust buffer against chronic certainty, 100%. Channel climate concern into action. Support community-level resilience projects and green bond funds. Global finance is finally catching up. An advocate for equity. Push employers and policymakers on fair taxation, labor rights, and inclusive digital infrastructure. I don't know if I have any effect on that stuff, but yeah, interesting. And keep cash flow resilient. What is that? In a higher for longer rate world, consider laddered savings, modest leverage, and inflation indexed assets. Wow, I have no clue what it means with that. I should. Maybe if you know what this means, some of our financial peeps out there, let me know in the comments. I have no clue what this means. Okay, bottom line. Yes, conflict, cost of living strains, climate shocks are real, but the same period is delivering historic leaps in clean power, digital capability, and human longevity. By steering attention toward opportunity, not just threat, and acting on levers above, individuals and communities can move from overwhelm to purposeful momentum. Wow, I love the O3 model answers as well. I really love the answer. I have the feeling the 4.5, sorry, that's just, I don't know. For me, it's just like not even comparable to the other two. But the O3 and the Akashic ones are both greatly fascinating me. And you see that they are both covering a completely different aspect. Like, I'm not here to say don't use ChatGPT and start using Akashic Records. I use both in great detail. And I even did a course earlier this year that I'm rebranding right now. If you're interested, let me know about how can we use spirit and talk to spirit and at the same time use the technology that's currently out there in a heartful way, so we can create from the heart what we want to create from the heart, because we're truly limitless at this point. So I'm curious what you think. My conclusion is I would love to use O3 to have more detailed information about current patterns that are happening in the world. It gave me really amazing answers, and it was a very beautiful answer that both cast a light on the negative and the positive changes. The 4.5 for me was only displaying problems and gave very general advice, but the O3 gave me amazing answers. And because I don't watch the news, this was very helpful to me. The Akashic Records gave a very big bird's eye view. One thing that I don't see in any of these answers is that they told us connect with nature because the earth is able to talk to you, and that's how many cultures they could watch the stars. Of course, we are not able to watch the stars, but they were so connected with the earth and they were able to see the stars. You know what happens when you're constantly in that state? You will receive visions and messages and things, because this is all a very conscious life, and earth is a very conscious being, and the stars are also very conscious beings. So of course, when you're constantly surrounded with that, you will receive messages. And it made so much sense to me, like, of course, that's why they already knew this kind of things. My conclusion is I like Akashic Records for the out-of-the-box view, for the bird's eye view, and for a way more energetical answer, way more energy, how is energy moving right now answer. At the same time, the O3 model gave me beautiful material statistics that were missing in the Akashic answer, even though they said we can spend way more hours displaying and going into detail. They kind of just literally gave a very bird's eye view, and they told me that in the channel as well, that they were doing that. But yeah, I think they are both very valuable and amazing. And there was one comment on the last video that I had, and it was so funny to me. He said, I don't know exactly what the comment was, but he said like, oh wow, if ChatGPT can give such an answer, then the Akashic Records becomes pretty useless. And I was laughing at it, because what I find so fascinating is the Akashic Records. This has been existing before humanity existed. People have been connecting with the Akashic Records for thousands of years. You don't need electricity. You don't need internet. And what you don't see in this answer, but you feel when you connect to the records, is you are embraced with an extremely beautiful energy of love, of wisdom, of light. Every time I connect, I feel supported. Every time I connect, I feel empowered. And I don't need the internet for it. I actually, without internet, the connection is even easier. I don't need electricity for it. I can use it whenever, wherever. Like the world can completely stop using internet or electricity, and I have a clean and clear connection to the records. While you cannot access ChatGPT while you're on that. So that was immediately what came up when I saw that comment. So I wanted to add it into this video, so if you're thinking like, well, the Akashic Records, know that you have access to a very powerful intelligence. Even when there's no internet, when there's no electricity, it goes through your energy body, it goes through your system, and it gives so profound answers. So thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching this comparison. Thank you for living in this world right now, based on the channel that I received. I know you're here for a reason. I hope your purpose will become very clear. If not, know that the Akashic Records are masters in uncovering purpose and placing you on your path of purpose. And I have a course on my website, akashicrecordschool.com, that is only for a very small amount of time, still at a huge discount. Because I just started, I wanted to provide it for a year with a huge discount, but everyone says it's so much more valuable than that what they paid for it. So I will find a more suitable price. But if you're watching this, when this just comes out, it will still be very discounted. So take that while it's still in that price, and I'm looking very much forward to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being interested in spirit and in AI, and let's go. Let's live this life to the fullest.